So I still haven't seen World War Z, and I'm not sure that I will now because I was very excited to see This Is the End. Yeah, that's right. It's finally here in the UK. This is the end. So we have James Franco, Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen all playing themselves, having a party at Franco's house, and chaos happens. I mean, come on, they're playing themselves. How could this not be the funniest film of the year? So, yeah, does this mark the end of these actors' careers, or is it just the beginning? Let's find out. In my review, this is the end. So, towards the beginning of the film, Jonah Hill tells Jay Baruchel, I love your references, right? So, that's what I think about this movie. I absolutely love the references. And there are many references to other movies, and that's how I'm going to start this review off. I'm not going to start off by going through plot and all that stuff like I normally do. I'm going to start off by saying this movie has a ton of references to other movies, which is great. That's what I like about it. Because all the actors in this movies are playing themselves, and like they're sort of spoofing movies that they've done. Basically, this movie, the whole movie, is sort of a spoof of what was supposed to happen last year with the end of the world and the apocalypse and that. And the actors are all really good at doing this by playing themselves. And what I mean by their references in their own movies and everything, it's like just golden things such as like James Franco, as you know, was in 127 Hours, which is a great movie. There's references to that thrown in here. Like there's a scene when Jay and Seth go down into James Franco's basement to get some water, and down there you see on top of a pile of boxes a prop arm from 127 Hours, which you'll know in 127 Hours James Franco has to cut off his own arm. The prop arm that he used in the movie is there, and throughout the movie the characters, well, I wouldn't call them characters because they're actors playing themselves, but you know, they're sort of like exaggerated versions of themselves. So throughout the movie, the camera that James Franco used in 127 Hours to film his like little video diary is used by the actors. Well, let's call them survivors. The survivors, the actor survivors. I'll just call them the actors, okay? I'll call them the actors. So, yeah, the actors use James Franco's camera that he used in 127 Hours to record their own video diary of the end of the world, which I thought was really clever and really good. And I think it's really good and clever how all the actors are actually playing themselves. I really like that. Like when this movie was first announced, I knew nothing about it. All I knew was that these great actors, great comedic actors were in it, such as like Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill and James Franco, who I absolutely love in everything he's in, even Spider-Man 3. I didn't like Spider-Man 3 that much, but James Franco made that movie, like he made it as enjoyable as it could be. I just think he's great in every role he is, and in this movie he's great at playing an exaggerated version of himself. Like he is completely in love with art, and he has like a giant sculpture of a penis, like covered in paint and things. Like I don't know, it's actually pretty cool. And like, you know, they all have their own sort of traits. Like Seth Rogen, as you know, in every movie he like smokes weed and he always plays the same guy. And this is referenced in the movie that he always plays the same guy. And in this movie he does play the same guy, but as himself and in a sort of different way because he's been himself. So I'm just thinking, you know, Seth Rogen has got to be a massive stoner to like, you know. So yeah, they all play like every character or actor in this movie is different. So like Danny McBride's a massive arsehole in this movie. I don't know if he actually like that. Maybe he's not actually like that, but they're exaggerated versions. And like Jonah Hill's this really sweet guy. Jay Baruchel is this really paranoid guy. And you know, they've all got different parts of themselves. And like Craig Robinson's sort of the comic relief guy, and his scream, I swear to God, his scream will become his trademark, much like Seth Rogen's laugh, which again is also referenced. And I really love how, you know, people, you know, are in this movie and they're referencing, you know, what the actors' trademarks are, which I always thought was really good. And you know, there's some really great cameos from like Michael Cera. I mean, whoever thought of him on cocaine is a genius. That was like the funniest thing ever. Rihanna's got a cameo in this, singing with Craig Robinson. We have cameos from McLovin, you know, Chris Hemmings plus. So you've got all the super bad guys in the same scene together. You know, I love how they're doing little things like that. And you've got like cameos from so many actors like Jason Segel, like great comedic actors. And you know, I mean, they're only in it for a slight little bit, like Michael Cera. And my favorite cameo, as well as everyone else's, has got to be Emma Watson. She's just hilarious in this movie. And, you know, it's a hilarious scene where she breaks into James Franco. Well, she doesn't break in. She sort of, well, she does break in, but you know, they want her there and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a great scene where she comes in and she thinks that they're going to rape her because she overhears them talking about rape, but it's not for her. And then there's just this great scene where you see Danny McBride in the camera in the next scene. He's like, Hermione stole all of our shit. And that was just like, it's scenes like that just get me. They're so funny. You know, if you're not a fan of like sexual humor and drug humor, you're not going to like this movie. I wouldn't go and see it. But if you're a fan of all that, and you also love these actors, and you love, you know, references to other movies and that, see this movie. I absolutely loved it. It was just a great movie. Such a sort of feel-good movie. And you know, there is sort of a few scenes that fall flat, but for these scenes, you've got scenes that make up for it. In every scene, I was laughing out loud. I just loved every single scene. Like, you know, there's not a dull moment in this movie. It's just, you know, I swear down, if I see Satan's penis one more time, I will freak out. I do not ever want to see Satan's penis again. But, you know, that's sort of what films like this rely on, you know, dick humour. If they can't think of a joke, they go, hey, let's throw in some dick humour, which I don't mind. You know, dick humor's funny in small doses, and Satan dick humor comes across as funny, then you're gonna like it. And you know, films such as Pineapple Express, which Seth Rogen and James Franco have appeared in, you know, they make a homemade sequel to that, which was hilarious, and it's the sort of thing that you think, you know, this is what, you know, filmmakers would come up with. This is the sort of thing that they'll come up with. And Seth Rogen and James Franco come up with this stoned, and I reckon, you know, some films that come out, like filmmakers are obviously stoned and they come up with it, and you know, this is like Seth Rogen and James Franco are stoned and they come up with this idea, and I reckon that's how most movies come across, which, you know, it's not a bad thing. It's great, and you know, it's just awesome. So this is the end. Best comedy of the year, I will say it is the best comedy I've seen for a very, very long time. You know, it's just so funny. The references, you know, the over-exaggerated actors, you know, and it's got such a feel-good ending to it. By the end of the film, I love it when a film does this. It just makes you feel good. By the end of it, you're just like, yeah, this movie was great. I'm feeling it now. I mean, even if the movie sucks and the ending's great, you know, you think, oh, this is a great movie because the ending makes you feel good, but it's not like this with this movie. The actual movie is good. It's not just the ending that's good, it's the whole movie, which I really enjoyed, you know, and the ending is good. It's a really feel-good ending, but, you know, one of my favourite actors of all time has died in this movie towards the end, and you can't help but think, you should have taken them with you up to heaven and had them party. Oh, did I ruin the ending for you guys? I'm sorry. I'll put a spoiler alert warning in front of this video. I honestly didn't mean to spoil it. It wasn't supposed to be a spoiler review, but I'm not going to tell you who the actor is, because although it is now, you know, a spoiler review, I'm sorry. I'm not redoing the video now. I've got this far, but I'm not going to tell you who the person that dies is. You might be able to guess. He's one of my favourite actors, but yeah, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but yeah, I don't want to ruin it any further than I have. But you know, there's also a really funny cameo from someone who you're really not expecting. It's in a scene with Danny McBride. I won't tell you what's happening in the scene because it will like further ruin what I've already sort of ruined. So I don't know, I haven't actually ruined anything, have I? Maybe I have. I've ruined it now that I've said that I've ruined it, so I've probably ruined it. I'm sorry. But yeah, I was just so excited about this movie, and I just want to talk about it now. Like, I went with a friend, and he turned to me and said, what a movie. I have got to agree, what a movie. Great movie. Great cameos. Hilarious cameo towards the end. And I will say, this movie I'm definitely going to get on Blu-ray, and it's a very strong 4 stars out of 5. And I'm going to give it a huge thumbs up for originality, for hilarity, for everything that we see in this movie. A big thumbs up. Well done to everyone involved in this movie. I hope to see more. I don't want to see a sequel because I don't see a sequel going anywhere, but I hope to see more of these actors together. They just have great chemistry. It's a great movie. and I recommend everyone see it, even if you're not a fan of previous, Franco and Rogen movies that they've appeared in. Just see it. Everyone, it's just a real feel good movie. By the end, you'll just be so happy that you've seen it. So yeah, I just loved it. I mean, all the hype about it, it's worth it. Go and see it. So this is the end. 4 stars. Amazing. Okay, so thank you for watching my review. Remember, always subscribe, like, comment. I'll appreciate anything, and my Facebook account is still up and running, and as always, make sure you give that a like. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.